How do everyone? Welcome to the Potty Mouth Garden Club. Yes, we are back for another show, and hopefully there'll be no blurred cameras on my esteemed guests. But before that, 'cause I've been doing me little, hopefully all the kind of figures and all my kind of settings I've cleaned up and sorted out. I looked amazing last week, but everybody else was blurred to hell and back. So let me just get into the little house cleaning first. Discord, if you are, as you know, Discord, and there's some great things. I'm going to be talking about sort of like a couple of things from the Discord channel as well. So please pop over there, join the Discord. That would be fantastic. We've also got the questions. Now, this drives the show. So put a capital Q so I can kind of search for them and find them, and then type your question. That would be brilliant. I'll just do that there now. So if you get your questions in quick, then I'll kind of be able to read them. So capital Q, then your question will be fantastic. What else we got? We've got the secrets. This is on the Monday, and we've just recorded this one there now. So that'll go out on Friday. So keep an eye out for that. This is like, we just chat on, and normally it's about trying to fix the show before the show goes live. But this week has actually been quite good. Then I just wanted to show you this there because I'm going to, if anybody's watched my normal kind of channel, I'm using a new mat, like a new kind of kneeling mat, and there's going to be a competition to kind of get, some of these mats as well. So you've got to be in the Discord now as well. And you would, when it comes, I haven't sorted out yet, but you would hit that like little blue icon. I think at the moment it says smile. So you hit that, then you kind of get in for the competition as well. We've got the Patreon. Yes, that would be fantastic, but don't worry about that. What else we've got? This is the main thing there, the podcast. That would be lovely if you kind of signed up. When you don't have to sign up, just join it. It's free, but you actually listen to this show in audio, and that's how I kind of listen to the show. You know what I mean? I use the Apple app on my phone. I search for the Potty Mouth Garden Club, and it's honestly, when I'm doing this there now, it's live. I miss so much. I don't even listen sometimes to I don't listen to Steve, to be honest. You know what I mean? He waffles on too much. But I catch it all at the end, when I listen to the podcast. Stephen, are you all right there? So you look like you're doing something now. Behave yourself. Don't be kind of messing around. Are you good, Stephen?
Yeah, I was just trying to work out how to send you a note through here that you haven't switched your new light on. But
new light. Let's have a look. What's my new light?
It is on
air, man. On air.
Oh yeah. Oh, you've moved it. That's why I was looking for it at the bottom of your calendar.
On air. Actually, if you look, let's just zoom there. The red box around it is white, but I've had to stick on sticky tape, red sticky tape, because when I put it up on the camera, it just glared white, and you couldn't see the back. So I've had to stick sellotape over there, but red. But yes, we are on air live now. So Stephen, nice. Are you good? Is this weather getting you down?
Not the weather, the lack of it. Because, as you know, we both get up at silly o'clock in the morning.
Silly o'clock in the morning, yes.
And it's not enough lights, I'm sat around waiting for 2 hours drinking coffee.
I get your texts, you know what I mean? And at least I light the fire, you know what I mean? And I sit with the dogs, and then when my wife gets up, we have a couple. But you must be itching to get up that garden because, you know what I mean? This is my time.
It is, yeah.
Stephen, all you got to say to yourself is it's getting lighter every day.
Yeah. Between now and next month, in a month's time, an hour and a half extra per day. So,
and it's coupled with that, mind you, is like the weather. We'll talk about the weather a little bit later as well, because that's been kind of, you know what I mean, hideous. Do you know what I mean? It's just like...
Oh, it's been lovely here. It's been fantastic.
Oh, I know. Kind of... We'll have a chat. Audrey, how are you doing? Nice to have you.
I'm wonderful. Happy to be here.
Yes, we've got... Well, actually, if you have a quick look there, we've got the OG, you know what I mean, the originals on tonight as well. So, Audrey, it's lovely to have you. Now, I know we've been kind of messing about with the kind of our baby temperatures. You're still kind of right in kind of Arctic conditions there.
Yes, and yet we're having weird warmth during days sometimes. So, it's hard to... I've been trying to get my winter sowing out, But the point of that is that it's going to sit in a deep freeze for like a month before things warm
Well,
up.
see, I seen, sorry, Audrey, I seen what you were mentioning about the weird temperatures on our kind of WhatsApp, and I was thinking, I wonder if that's going to spoil everything, because things might start to kick into
Exactly.
gear.
That's why I've not been putting those out yet.
Uh-huh.
So I'm hoping February will just be deep freeze and we'll just get through it. So it won't warm up to 48 degrees at night or during the day, sorry. And then dive back down to the 20s. So, so
Very
I'm
nice.
just kind of, I think everyone is just enjoying really weird weather.
It's
I
just,
guess that's the point. It's just weird.
yes.
Yeah. So,
Well, it's lovely to have you on again. Thank you very much. We will have many a conversation to
all right.
yes. JB, how are you doing? Right.
Hey,
Now-
hello, very well.
Right, JB, please show everybody you've got some software that's kind of makes you look. Please, now watch
You're
this,
gonna tell
JB.
them my
Please
secret.
go and show the secret, because it makes your eyes look.
Okay, wait, we've got a bit of magic for everyone.
That's just fab. Honestly, I love that kind of when JB showed us that, I was like, oh, just so it makes your eyes look like you're on the screen and not reading the comments and the chat.
That's it.
Yeah.
Are you well, JB? Are you good? Are you?
I'm very well. Yeah, it's all exciting. Big news in my latest video, obviously.
Yes.
And I'm not feeling too down about the weather. Actually, we've had lots of really nice kind of blue sky days. It's been pretty cold, but it's just kind of nice. So long as it's not wet, I really don't mind the cold.
Well, it's been like the weather has been just like you know what I mean. It's just been scary sometimes. It's just you know what I mean. It's just like the swings we're getting. Do you know what I mean? It's just. I'll just show you this little image there. Look at, and that's like that. You know what I mean? What like it's like half the country in half. Do you know what I mean? It's just what a cold.
-6 in South London last night. -6.
It's just, I mean, if you have a look at it, and then you see kind of Scotland there, you know what I mean? It's just how cool it is. It's ridiculous, to be honest. It's just kind of gets you. And that was from Andy Beans on our Discord. And I was saying, like, Discord, it's a great little place because you get to see, I wouldn't have seen that little map there, but half of England, and Steve's in the warm climate, and that's like Cockermouth doesn't get warm.
Degrees.
Do you know what I mean? It's just bizarre. When you get to your allotment, Steve, I guess everything's thawed out and things are looking quite good there, is it?
Yeah, it's just about all thawed out. I mean, there was a little bit of ice on one of my water butts still, but other than that, it's all thawed out. It was 6 degrees overnight last night, -6 in London, a 12-degree shift, and it's never, ever in Cumbria's favour. I just can't believe it. I've never seen anything like it. It's just bizarre.
Well, it looks, Steve, both me and you there are just wearing T-shirts. Do you know what I mean? It's like we haven't got heating on here. You know what I mean? And
No.
it's a bizarre, a couple of days ago, mind you, like I say, the ground was frozen solid. We've had like the heating on, we've had like the wood fire going, it's been roaring, just kind of get warm, and then all of a sudden, it changes. Right, let us see then. I'll tell you what, we'll right, I'll tell you what Matthew has asked in there. I'll just put Matthew's little sign. Matthew Elfler, I think. Roughly, because me and Steve actually talked about this, what percentage of consumed veg do you grow? Well, Matthew, I could grow way more, and we would eat way, way more. Now, I know, because Steve was saying that because of this frost, it's kind of, you, Steve, with that kind of your massive allotment, you've kind of...
Football pitch.
You know what I mean? You can almost kind of feed yourself right throughout the year, but this frost is totally kind of, this year it knocked it out. It's knocked it for 6. So obviously you'll be getting, going down to the supermarket for your bags of salad and stuff like that. And I don't know what mine's like at the moment there, but I cannot survive like that full year. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying to Steve there, my garlic ran out. I've got about 7 cloves of garlic left.
Yeah.
How you doing, Steve? Are you getting close to running out on things there now?
Still got some spuds left. Still got onions in storage, reds, some of the Bedfordshire champs, the white ones, and still got shallots, and they'll last us for another couple of months. All of those yet. Cauliflowers that I grew early parts of the season last year, when they all harvest, it's too much to eat in one go, so I blanch and freeze them. So we've still got cauliflower, but there's not much else, to be honest. And it was funny, actually. I was filming today, and I filmed my sweet pea video because I wanted to tag it onto something else I've recently filmed. And I did one the same time last year. And you look at the difference in the background. Last year's video, the background is just a mass of green with everything growing. This year, no. It's absolute, just compost on the beds, and that's it. There's nothing. I've got some kale, and that's about it.
It's just bizarre. Do you know what I mean? Like the seasons, and it's just for a gardener, it kind of, especially like a new garden. Well, even for, like I say, it's frustrating for all of it. It swings and round, and you're trying to kind of battle, and then you think, like you say, you germinate your precious seeds and all that, and then it's gone again, and you think, bloody hell. Do you know what I mean?
Well, the bonus is with that is that every year, every sort of winter, I never expect to get a crop. I expect my lettuces to die really quickly, and they'll die first. And then everything else on the lead up to Christmas generally should normally die. But the last 4 or 5 years, we've had crops right the way through the year. And I'm actually now sort of tailoring the menu at home and growing stuff to what we want to eat at particular times of year. But this year is the first year in about 6 or 7 where I've been completely wiped out. So this is now the other side. Whereas it used to be the norm, everything died, and we kept trying to grow stuff. Now it's the other way around, and it's just an oddity this year that we've lost so much, really.
Well, I think as well, Steve, when we talked about it last week, when we even like say sprouting broccoli is failing for a lot of people. Do you know what I mean? And kind of
mine's gone.
Aye, and it's just, that's one of your what's that saying? You know, like the hungry gap.
Fallback. Fallback for the hungry gap, definitely. Yeah,
and that's gone now as well. So it kind of, although we're kind of noticing a little bit now, it's like a month or two's time is when we really notice it. And then, like they say, the price. I mean, I was talking. This has kind of got nothing to do with gardening. I was talking about. I'd showed a bottle of tomato sauce. These were small ones. A bottle of tomato sauce and a bottle of brown sauce. Like little kind of, you know what I mean, that size. It was like £7.10. And it's just like, man, it's just, things are just like ramping up. Do you know what I mean? It's just kind of ramping up. What were we talking about? Weather. Was it
vegetables?
Yeah. I'm going down a rabbit hole of tomato sauce. JB, any thoughts on kind of your harvest? I'm guessing you're not as kind of productive as Steve, and you know what I mean? Because
absolutely not.
You know what I mean?
No, it's a fantastic question. I quite like that one. But sorry, I'm getting distracted by the chat talking about my eyes. No, I think I barely make a dent in what we actually consume, apart from chilies. Obviously, I've got chilies like for years and years.
Yes,
I would say chilies, onions, and potatoes are the ones that really, make a significant dent into what we actually have to buy in the supermarket. Apples too. I have one big apple tree, so we've got like jars and jars of apple jam and that kind of stuff. But generally speaking, I don't know. It must be about 15% of what we eat. I grow, if that.
Right.
But it is. I mean, not very good.
Even in a good year,
it's only a half plot. And there are definitely choices I could make.
Not any longer, JB. Yeah, not any. Yeah,
indeed. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the answer is this year. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I think I'm probably not say 15%, maybe I don't know, 25, 30. Even with a good crop, we just use it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Big eater, JB. Do you know what I mean? I'm a hungry guy. I like my food. What can I say? Do you know what I mean? I've still got some onions, and I've still got. Well, if the lettuces kind of survive, we've still got like lettuces and mustards and everything like that. But I could have had potatoes right through, but bloody lost them as well. You know what I mean? Oh, Audrey, you are a kind of big preserver. You know what I mean? You're the kind of queen bee of preserving. You must be on your game when you get this kind of weather. You know it's coming, so you're prepared.
Well,
We've just been caught out.
Yeah, this is typical for us. So I obviously don't have lettuce and things like that right now, but I still have squash and I have a lot of garlic preserved and I still have onions. Yeah, so we still have a lot. It's just the fresh stuff we don't have.
But you are, Audrey, you're going down the microgreens route as well there now, so hopefully you can kind of...
And I'm also doing some sprouting. I've never sprouted before.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an amazing little trick.
Oh, it's I know it's
crazy how quickly they sprout.
well, I've got, if I could just I think I had it actually up. I don't know if I've got it up there now. I had Grown Locals page because I've done Grown Locals kind of, and there's a link in the show notes at the top. I've pinned it, the little kind of link to the Grown Local where we're getting these little kits from.
Right.
And it's just, mine are kind of up. You know, I'm going to do like a little probably tour video before in the next one. And it's what you see, Audrey. It's like, they're there. It happens. It's quite...
Yes.
It's just...
So we get a bit of that, but I still, rely on the grocery store a bit in the winter for fresh.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Nothing like fresh.
Well, to be honest, like hats off to Steve, who's kind of aims to get right through during that's just, do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's because even on like I say, I think I fall into JB's category. On a perfect year, a perfect growing weather, I can still fail. Do you know what I mean? I'm failing this, failing that. Do you know what I mean? So
we all do. I do as well. I fail at many things every year, and it's just part of it. The thing is, once you focus on something, like if you've had a bad year on one thing one year, you'll focus more on it the next year, and because of that, something else suffers. It's just gardening. It's the way it happens. You take your eye off something for a second, then it'll die.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's not looking at me.
Well, so yeah, I must have that bloody celeriac. Just I've only had it great one year, and then these last couple of years, not a hope in hell, to be honest.
That's why you got to keep going at it, and you'll find exactly the right thing. You know what it needs. Something.
Well, I'm going to swap beds. Obviously, I'm going to swap beds with it and just see how it grows next year. But just pull it up now. It's a bit. It's embarrassing.
How did your funnel turn out, Tony?
Lost it. All went to seed, Audrey. Another failure. We don't talk about it. Shh.
Okay.
Right, please.
Can I ask a question, Tony?
You certainly can, Jamie.
Steve, is that okay? How much do you freeze, Steve? And how many freezers do you have? Is it just one, or have you got like industrial scale preservation?
No, we've just bought another freezer actually because we had two under-counter freezers. One my dad gave me about 15 years ago. The other one I bought one year when we had a glut of potatoes and I made a load of potato dishes and froze them. It was cheaper to buy a freezer and freeze them than to run out of potatoes or lose them, if you see what I mean. So we've always had them, but they were old. One was now about 30 years old and the other nearly 10 years. So we got rid of both and we bought a proper tall one now. So that's all we have. And about half of that will be full of veg at any one time.
Okay.
Audrey, that's a good question, JB. That's excellent. Audrey, what's your freezer system like? Because obviously you're a preserving.
Yeah, I preserve more than I freeze because we have like a bottom freezer in our main floor kitchen, and downstairs we have the beer fridge, as my husband calls it. So, and that's a side by side. So we have that area, which isn't much if you're freezing. I mean, most of the basement is still filled with tomatoes that I haven't dealt with yet. But you can throw them in the freezer until you're ready to start preserving them. So I don't have a lot of freezer space.
Funny, I seen, and I forget who it was. I was watching like kind of the YouTube videos were going, and there was one like I think there's a thing now to kind of have like a pantry tour, you know, of your cake, you know, like.
Yes.
And this young girl had just like jars. I mean, the price
Oh,
of
yeah.
the jars themselves would be like astronomical, but every
Yeah.
one was filled with like, and I was thinking, wow, you know, and she's like saying, this is our year's supply, you know, of like, and it's not frozen, it's all like in jars. And the amount, Audrey, of like pickled gherkins, different. You know, I could
Yeah.
probably get 2 or 3 jars, 4 at the most. She had about 16 just on different
Well,
gherkins. It was
Well, and also a lot of those homesteaders also buy, if they can't grow it all, they buy it at farmers markets and then they put it up. So it's not necessarily out of their garden.
Mm.
They just want it shelf ready and ready to go. Yeah.
Tony's
So I
world has been shattered.
have one of those, like one of those racks, because usually I have a 4-foot wide, 2 feet deep, four shelves high of canned products.
Nice.
Well,
Yeah.
honestly, Audrey, I don't know what this one was. And I don't know if they do it to get the click views on you. You know what I mean? I don't know if they just keep
Well,
on.
I think so many of those homesteaders, that's how they feed their families.
Uh-huh.
I do not think you would not to go through that much work just to get click on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
I mean, canning is a lot of work.
Oh, well.
So
And it was.
I have off to them.
I wish I could find. Probably in me history. Do you know what I mean? If I kind of have a look there, but it was just like it looked perfect. Do you know what I mean?
Course,
It just beautiful.
That might be clickbait, just making sure it's all tidy.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
no, doing all that work, oh no, that is not worth a YouTube picture.
See, I used to do all that myself. I used to do tons and tons of chutneys and pickles, wines, preserved fruits. And I found that by the time the next harvest was coming in the next year, I still had half of it left because I was sort of preserving everything I was getting off the plot, bringing it home. And to be honest, we've got a jar of, I think it's pickled beetroot that's 7 years old in the fridge at the minute. I've got bottles of wine in a cupboard next to me here that are 10 years old. You know, you just never get through it. So I've been trying to redress that over the years, which is why I've introduced more flowers to the plot. I don't want to give up the plot. I want to keep doing that because that keeps me active. So I just sort of shift the harvest into flowers, which is nice to bring home, you know.
Well, it's funny, Steve, you mentioned that as well. Last year's on my big nasty bed, it was tomatoes, which a lot of them were green, didn't go. I turned it into chutney. I'm still using the chutney there now. You know what I mean? So this is like still last year's chutney. And it's just, I was going to like see, I wonder how long it lasts. Because it would, if it was in the, it would be out of shelf date now. If it was like, you know, like manufactured and, you know, we would be out of date, but there's no date on it. But I did it, you know, like last year. It's gorgeous still. Do you know what I mean? It's just like,
if it looks good, smells good, and tastes good, then it is good.
Mm-hmm. And we've still got like this freaking jar
Well,
of the stuff.
Sorry.
What was that?
Yeah.
What was that, Audrey?
Except for botulism, which you can't smell or see. So aside from that, that's correct, Steve. But
Well, you see,
yeah,
Audrey, you see, JB wouldn't have that problem because he'll have a cast iron gut now eating all them chilies. Do you know what I mean? It's just like
Yes.
nothing could survive down. You know, no kind of germ would survive in JB's gut. We have a little question. I've just got Richard Preston is asking, hi all, I've seen a few videos about growing potatoes in shade and part shade. Is it really possible to get a decent harvest if grown in shade? Richard Patton. Steve, that could be one of your questions because I've always just grown mine in full sunlight, to be honest. Isn't it? I've never kind of even thought.
I've always done the same, to be honest. And I know some things like lettuces you can get away with growing in part shade. I mean, I can't see anything against it. As long as they're getting some sunlight, I don't see why it wouldn't work. But I don't know. I'm like you, Tony. I've always grown them out in open ground and in full sunlight.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably... I'll tell you who is in here, and we'll know. Mr. Potato himself is in there somewhere. Simplified. There you go. Nope. Spuds need sun, he says.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I've got part of my bed gets quite a lot of shade. There's a big bay tree, And the spuds that I grow that are in the shade, the plants will look really healthy, but quite often the spuds themselves, when you go to cook them, will just be a bit wrong. Like their texture will be a little bit off. And I think it's those kind of swings in kind of temperature and growing conditions that potatoes really don't like. I think they like kind of consistent stuff, because you get periods where the potatoes swell too quick, and then they go slow and then they quick. And I think that's what leads to that kind of bad condition of an actual spud. And I think that's probably caused by the shade. So I've kind of been moving my potatoes further and further down the plot, and they're getting better. So
I wonder why then, like you say, Richard's obviously seen these videos. I wonder why folks are seeing you can, or, like say you've got Tony O'Neill in there who kind of knows, you know what I mean? Like I say, I haven't got there's nowhere in my garden that actually is shade, you know what I mean? So I'm kind of gifted in that way. Have you got shade, Steve, in your garden, in your allotment? Is there somewhere where it does get shade?
Not really. I mean, right down the very back, there's a line of trees, but that only gets shade from about, well, in the summer, probably 6, 7 o'clock at night, just because the trees and the sun is quite low in the sky then, so it's behind the trees. But otherwise, everywhere gets full sun.
Audrey, I can't remember if you're growing potatoes. You are growing potatoes.
I grow some potatoes. This year, probably more. But yeah, it's full sun. Because I'm like you, I don't have a lot of shade. So, yeah.
Right. Well, I just want to mention, let's just 1 second. Now, Steve mentioned, was it last week, Steve, you mentioned, you like to look after your hands. You know what I mean? You put a little bit.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Well, actually, in our kind of Patreon, Jade Grows, Veg, I think it is, got in touch with me, and actually a few influential people on the. Did you get any, Steve? I don't think you did get any of this. You know what I mean? Or it's
no, I don't. I don't think so. I don't check my DMs or anything. I've sorted it all out.
I didn't know
now,
what DMs were, that, to be honest, the bloody thing. So this is what I just want to show you this there now. If I just this is what Jade sent me over, a little sample of her hand cream, which these are kind of individual little batches she's doing at the moment. So
right.
And it just smells gorgeous. Do you know what I mean? I showed my wife it. It was just, I had to go and ask my wife, where's that hand cream gone? Because I want to show it. It was whipped away. And Jade honestly sent us a little now these are, Stephen, bath salts for like a weary gardener. Now, I'll just put if you can, please follow, because these are just batches that haven't come out yet. Or, they're not kind of for sale just yet. Jade's just kind of building up, kind of like interest in that. That's Jade Instagram. So there's gardeners and butter. Is it gardeners and butter? So there's 2 Instagrams. Right. If you pop over the Discord, you'll find Jade in the Discord. There's that there. If you can kind of follow Jade over there as well, you will get to know when this kind of hand cream. Now I think that's a great little kind of niche place to kind of for gardeners.
Yeah.
After a weary day, because even if the old fella there is kind of, that was in his tip. What was yours, Steve? I can't remember what product you. There we go. Working hands.
It's good for the really. I mean, I don't know what Jade's is like, but this is good for when your skin really dries out. When you get to that position where your skin actually starts cracking and it becomes sore. That stuff will revive it. But of course, if you use it regularly, you don't get that.
Well, this has got lavender, frankincense, and cypress in. So
it smells so good.
Have you got some as well,
nice.
JB? Have you?
Yeah, I've got some. It was held up at the post office, but I got it today.
Did you get the bath salts as well?
Yeah, they smell amazing. So it's so fancy.
Yeah,
it's not the sort of stuff you normally get, is it? It's quite a nice little treat.
Nice little treat for you. Yeah. So please pop over there to.
I haven't had a bath for about 20 years now.
Wow. I don't know if I'd admit that on air.
I'm going to switch back over to this just as quickly. So if you can, Gardener's Hand Butter, pop over and follow Jade. See, it's just tiny little Instagram at the moment, but hopefully we will get Jade nice and bigger there and get products going. Yeah. I will tell you, I will let you know when that's kind of happening. That would be fantastic, to be honest. You know what I mean? If it kind of, and it's like say, if come over to Discord because Jade's in there as well. Stephen.
Sorry, I was just checking my Discord messages because I can't see what.
Did
Please send it again because I've obviously lost it.
Right, Stephen. I was going to ask you about
Useless.
cardboard, Stephen, because I've seen a couple of videos where we're talking about cardboard for compost. Now I've kind of been following your instructions there because I normally didn't do it, but now it's anything that's kind of the Amazon-y stuff, the brown cardboard I'm keeping. But can you use the coloured cardboard? Because we're going through like loads of coloured cardboard, but that gets recycled to the council. Would you?
Right.
Because I've seen people like tearing up little bits of coloured cardboard. Like not like say it's got a product on the front. You know what I mean? So it's obviously been like printed ink or some sort of stuck on label. Would you be able to compost that as well? Or are you a purist with the brown cardboard?
No, not at all. I'll use coloured cardboard, but there's a simplistic rule. Basically, if like on your brown cardboard, like your Amazon packaging, where it says prime, doesn't it, and that's in black ink, because that's dull. It's water based, so therefore it's safe to use. The problem comes when you've got print, text, pictures, all that sort of thing that have a sheen to it. If it's a sheen, it's likely to be a varnish, and the varnishes can be poisonous and they can last. And if it's the ultra high gloss ones, then definitely put it into the composter for the local council to deal with, because the ultra high gloss ones are what they call ultraviolet varnish, and it's actually set on the printing packaging as it goes under UV lights to set it, and that's violent, volatile, nasty stuff. So you don't want to compost that. So anything that's non-shiny or hasn't got a sheen, if it's card or paper, you can compost it.
Right.
If it's got a sheen or a shine, don't.
That's a nice rule of thumb then. So if it's dull, like a matte finish, it's good to go. And if not, because that, like I say, there's probably a lot of stuff I've kind of just sent to the blue. We've got blue recycle bins up here. I've just shoved it in the blue recycle bin where I possibly could, have chopped it up and used it myself, in the compost.
Yeah.
JB, what's your recycling like? You know what I mean? Like, young ego warrior there. You know what I mean?
We're the same. It's we've got the old 1 week on, 1 week off bin collections here, so you have to be on the recycling, otherwise it piles up. But similar thing with the compost. I'd mainly just stick to the brown cardboard.
Did you know though? Because I didn't actually know, JB. Did you know like kind of you could, let's quote like Steve said there. That's a great little thumbnail. Some kind of micro test, because I'll start using the dull coloured cardboard. I didn't realise you could do that, because I was like watching some YouTubes and I was thinking, well, that's looks a bit iffy, but you know what I mean.
It's like you say, it's the super glossy stuff, isn't it? That I mean, it looks like that sort of stuff wouldn't be, if you kind of trust your gut, it looks like that stuff shouldn't really be going into your crops and into your veg.
No. It's horrible stuff. It really is horrible.
But it's nice to know. Audrey, what's your recycling like? Are you right? You'll not be able to kind of do it for the compost.
I have 2 little tumblers.
Oh, right, yes.
My rule has always been dull. Just go for it's kind of like magazines. They really don't want you to recycle those. Even in our, we shouldn't even put them in our recycling that the city takes, because they don't want them. So, because they're shiny. Magazines, every page shiny. So I just always went by if it's dull, it's fine. Yeah.
Well,
paper is dull, so I try to even do that with paper and whatnot. So yeah.
If it's dull,
and I'll crack those open hopefully in the spring once we can get to them, because they're buried in snow right now. So we'll see what they.
So is it outside, Audrey? Is it actually? Are you buried in snow outside? Are you?
Well, parts of our yard are, yes.
Right.
And it just had snow the other day, so we're pretty covered right now. Which is nice. It makes everything brighter, at least. That winter dull, everything just looks
I agree.
dark and muddy, and so I don't mind a nice coating of snow. It kind of brightens the place up.
Steve sent me over the other day a link to a story there. I'll just I'll put it up there, and it's a great one. Modern slavery claims as councillor prosecutes protests over the use of workers who had to plant bulbs by hand. So, Steve, if you and this is actually close to me, Redcat and Cleveland Council. So it's it's only about 30 mile from me, this place. Steve, what is this story then?
It was I think it was a team of 4 gardeners, and they were given 30,000 bulbs to plant. I'm into an experienced gardener who's doing it as a career. It's nothing, but I guess this councillor looked at what they were doing and what they had to do and thought it was slavery. I mean, it's blinking silly if you ask me, but I'm surprised it actually made the press, to be honest. But I mean, it was a nice little anecdote just to read and post onto yourself, really.
No, I think it's fab, but I think you mentioned the point. You've got to plant them by hand, I guess that's the So I can't say the problem myself, but maybe she wants more teams. I mean, you do see teams around here anyways, when it's like bulb planting time, they'll pull up in vans and they'll just cover a roundabout, or they'll do the beds, within. But obviously someone, I guess she's the councillor there, that lady there who's had a. It'd be nice to hear folks' views about this in the comments. You know what I mean? Is it the kind of thing that you're happy with, or would you rather? Do they think it's a little bit like slavery?
I don't think she really understands what slavery was.
Modern slavery. You know what I mean? It's more the kind of.
What is that? I modern slavery, please.
I'm guessing they're not beyond that much of a wage neither as well, mind you. So.
Well, at least they're getting a wage, and they can go home to their own house. So I'm not seeing what this has to do with slavery.
You're going to stay in a cell till all 30,000 are planted.
Yes. I mean, when you a total of 36,000 bulbs does sound, you know what I mean, a lot of bulbs to. But I just wonder if that's what, like Steve said, just probably like a busybody councillor just getting a little bit,
Yeah. I mean, go on, JB.
It's just, of all the jobs that are physical labor to pick on, that's a lot of bulb. I just don't I feel like it must have been taken out of context, or there must be more to that story, because it you can't just say that about working conditions and wages, because there are a lot worse jobs than planting bulbs that also have all those issues. And I don't know what's going on.
It's funny because that kind of job, you know what I mean, is just it's outside. It's hopefully it's nice weather. You know what I mean? It's sometimes it'll be okay. If it was freezing cold and rain and wet, and it was you had to get them in by a certain quarter, 36,000.
But that would mean a really lousy job. I don't get the comparison at all.
No.
So.
Well, Stephen, thank you for that. It's these cold dark mornings that Steve can't get out of the allotment. You know what I mean?
I was just looking through Facebook and I came across it, and it just gave us a giggle, and I thought, how ridiculous. Like you were saying, Tony, we've all seen these guys pull up in the van and, they'll plant a roundabout out with bedding plants. And I've done it myself for my granddad years ago. We used to plant the formal beds out. And mostly these grounds will be, the soil will be dug over. And all you got to do is just put a spade in and drop a bulb. They don't even have to bend down. They're not bothered which end it goes up. And the plant will still grow anyway. So, I mean, it's not difficult. But perhaps on the figures, it probably looks like, well, I've got 4 guys planting 36,000 bulbs. It's
fab. No, Stephen, thank you very much for that. It was nice to kind of read up on it. I wanted to mention to everyone there is I seem to someone mentioned a while ago about not wanting many seeds, just like a few seeds in a packet to just to try something. What size cup's that, Stephen? Let's show that size. Have you seen the size of Steve's cup? Show the man mug. Look at the size of that thing. There's a pint of tea in there. So I wanted to just kind of. It seems like the norm is lately for some of the seeds I'm getting, you only get 5 or 10 seeds. You know, like especially like say, cucumbers and chilies. Is this the norm, Steve? Have you seen like a cutback in the I know you can go to direct Premier Seeds Direct and you get like hoodles, but on certain varieties it just seems. I'm sure it wasn't the time where we got like 5 seeds for a tomato, like a tomato plant. These must be kind of things are changing nowadays. Oh, I can't.
Oh, we've lost you, Steve.
Oh, I've been muted yourself. I think just touch it. There
I
we
have.
go. There we go. Knock his
Very
mic.
It was good of this. It probably went too close.
He's done it
Yeah,
again.
still on. No, it was always the case with things like, if you think back to Sun Gold, they always came in packets of 10, and they've been around for a long time, especially with things like cucumbers and in some cases some melons. If the seeds are difficult to harvest, be viable, and to dry off, then you'll only get a few seeds. But yeah, that's always been around.
Right.
I mean, like you look on Premier Seeds, there are some varieties of sprouts on there where you'll get 3,000 seeds in a packet, and then there's another one that's only got 80. It's just the difficulty of
it must be.
preparing the seed.
It kind of like I say, I kind of noticed it and I kind of wanted to write it up because obviously I've been like sowing like chili seeds late, and it just seems chili seeds are. That's one of the ones where you get like 5. And I was telling JB, I got me chili chump seeds, and there was a nice little free packet in there, and I went and spilt them. So I don't think, you know what I mean? It's just like sort of like you only get 5, and I went and bloody spilled it. And I, honestly, JB, I don't think that one of them's hit the soil.
Those free seeds, you only got 5
of the free ones, yeah.
What? Well, we all got 15, didn't we,
Oh
JB?
no! So I just thought that was kind of. I haven't not noticed it, but I just thought it kind of highlighted when we had a question about little packs of seeds, and I guess
one of the big kind of determiners of the size of your seed packet is whether or not they're mechanically recovered or not, right? So those ones where you got thousands in a packet, I'm sure they're all going through machines, whereas things like chili chump is definitely doing that by hand.
Yes, yeah. No, I totally get like someone like Chili Chump's doing it. You know what I mean? It's kind of. It must be hideous to get 5 seeds to put in. I've tried it myself a little bit. You know what I mean? And just must be like a kind of brutal job to do. That's modern slavery. Trying to pick up 4 or 5 chili seeds and get them sent off there. So, right, Jade is asking. This is Jade who actually has the hand soap there. Favorite go-to gardening book. Now, Jade for me, and I can't remember which one it was. It was Steve sent it over for me, and it was the Charlie Dowden salad book. I still think that's like a little Bible, Steve. To be honest, it's a that good book one, you sent me. It's especially now with the winter. Do you know what I mean? You kind of want to try and get some salad in the winter, and following his rule, it kind of works when there's a normal kind of year's weather. Steve, have you got a favorite? From before the printed word came out. Have you got a?
Yeah, I've got a set of slates in the other room there with little pictograms in there. There's a guy with an umbrella on the floor. I have got a really good book. In fact, it's 3 volumes of a book. It goes through garden flowers and vegetables and stuff, and that's brilliant. It really is. Shows you all the old allotment vegetable growing plans and stuff. I'd love to get some screenshots of it really and show you guys, because it's a stunning book.
No, we'll have to have a look at that. Yes, please. JB, have you got a favourite like gardening junior gardening encyclopedia?
I'm really bad at ever remembering to actually go back to books, but there was one that you showed. I think it was your book of the month that was going to become a thing for a little while, and it's
yes, the allotment
month by month.
Yeah,
the month by month one is really good for beginners. That was like the first one that I had, and it's you don't have to get overwhelmed thinking about it. You can just literally just look at the month that you're in. It's nice and simple.
Yeah.
And that's good. But there are some other ones that I've seen. There's like my friend gave me one recently, and it's like a printing from the 1970s, one of the old Reader's Digests, and I think it's just called Food from Your Garden, and it's so amazing. I love it. We've got it on a little display cabinet at the top of the stairs now, and it's just gorgeous. Like, they don't make them like that anymore. It's a really, really good one, that Reader's Digest.
Oh, that's lush. That's lush. Audrey, have you got a little book that you kind of sometimes reach for, or like a favourite?
No, but I do have one that pretty much changed the way I gardened, and that was square foot gardening.
Right.
That really opened up a whole different world for me. So that's probably the most influential one I've read, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's funny. Like, I could probably get right into that with the beds. Do you know what I mean? My bed. It's nice to kind of everything's kind of symmetrical at the moment. It would be quite easy to do that. Do that kind of gardening, square foot gardening. I've never tried it, but
Oh, I think it's a great thing.
right.
Yeah.
Stephen, I've got a great question here for you, sir. Let me just put this up. This is right up your street. Warren Tip Lady is asking, is it possible to tell between onion seedlings and leeks if the label falls off?
Yes, dead easy.
Oh.
Wait till they're fully grown. If they're straight, the leeks, and if they've got a big bulb on the end, it's chances it's an
Is there
onion.
so there's no way of kind of finding out if the labels...
To be honest, I haven't looked that closely at them when they're young to be able to differentiate a difference. I don't think there is really, because they're just leaves growing up separately, and it's how they form later. And of course, the onions swell up into an onion. Other than that, I have no idea.
How much space do they need, onion compared to a leek?
What was
if
that,
you just
Jim?
planted them all, how much space does a leek need compared to an onion? I'd say it's kind of similar, right? An onion needs a little bit more space. So yeah, I was going to say just plant them out and it'll be fine. You'll have a nice mix of leeks and onions.
As long as I try to allow for is I try to allow for, with an onion, the size I know the onion's going to grow to. So I'll allow that space from that hole, or half of it, and then a hose width, and then my next onion. That's how I do it, so I can get in between and get all the weeds up and that.
Steve, just while we're talking about that, we did the kind of onion seeds sow on Boxing Day.
Yeah.
Did you take yours to the allotment, or yours still on your windowsill?
I've still got some on the windowsill, my mum's. I haven't touched them because they're poor. And I'm on my third lot of Bedfordshire Champion onions. My first lot, I think they were poor seed. My second lot, similar to JB with his chilies, I think a little slug got in there and munched them. And I'm on my third lot now that are in the greenhouse.
Right.
So it's not just me, at least.
Poor time with them this year. Poor time. Normally, it's like yours were, Tony. Normally, within a week, they're all up and going mental, and I've got to run around and find module trays to get them planted into, but not this year.
Well, it's funny. Would I be too late, Steve, in sowing again now? Because I don't know what.
Go for it.
I'm just really want to kind of hedge me bets just to make sure. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if them ones will be all right or a little bit knocked. I mean, I've got them kind of fleeced up there now. I've got polystyrene underneath them and everything. You know what I mean? The mother to hell and back. But I don't know if that kind of frost has prolonged frost, should I say, is kind of knocked them a little bit.
The thing with the Boxing Day sowing, it was part of a thing to get the old man out the house, and it was part of a thing because he wanted to go and see its mates at the allotments and go for a pint and watch the football in the pub. And it was also for the exhibition growers to get their onions started. Now, of course, exhibition growers start much earlier now. But yeah, you can sow onion seeds for another couple of months easily. That's why I'm not fretting about my onions. They'll still come. I'll still get some growing eventually. But normally, as I say, I just normally show them the soil and they're off and running. This year, it's just not the case.
JB, when you reached for that mug, your eyes stayed on your wardrobe.
I turned it off. I turned the eyes off, and then the chat was relentless. Everyone was just like, "You can't tell where he's looking."
His eyes are stuck on the wardrobe.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, God.
oh, that's so funny.
So, JB, what I was going to talk about there is, and I was mentioning me chutney has lasted for ages. How long does your chili sauce last? Or do you get through it quicker than it would?
Oh, I don't get through it. There's so much, and a lot of it is really spicy. So a lot of it you only need, a little bit. And I've got, it must be about 10, 15 bottles open in the fridge, and they're all for slightly different things. And I've got probably 20 more unopened in the cupboard. I could go this year without growing any chilies, and maybe the year after and still have plenty, but it's the joy of growing. But if you do the fermentation correctly, it lasts basically forever. In terms of like food safety, if you were selling anything, you'd have to put a sell by date of about a year on it. But if you fermented properly, it's shelf stable. So the pH in there is so low, there's no risk of anything kind of nasty actually being able to grow in your bottles. You normally top it up with vinegar as well, which just everything.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to get a nice little crop to kind of make some sauces. You know what I mean? I've done it like a few years ago, and I made and to be honest, I was quite surprised. It tasted lovely. It was like a mango hot sauce. I watched some American granddad biker kind of guy making it on YouTube, and it was. I thought, you know what, I could probably do. And it honestly tasted lovely. To be honest, you know what I mean? It was like a lovely orange color. It had a kind of kick, but not like stupidly kicked hot, but.
I love mango hot sauces are really good. They're so popular for a reason. And I made one last year. It's just inedibly hot. It is so hot. You can't taste mango. You can't taste anything. It's just heat, just pure heat.
Well, what I was good. I was dying to ask you as well, JB. Why? Because this is why I like them. But why do you like? Like how we're saying, we've got like favorite veg. There's something for me about chilies, that excitement. Now I tell you why I like them, because this is the way. When I was a kid, I used to we're playing out. We lived in the countryside. It was like playing out time. Fire, lighting fire. There was that danger. There's that excitement with like lighting a fire. Maybe even the whole bankside going away, running away. And kids like the coppers chasing you and everything like that. Light fires. And I think now, as we're getting in the autumn years, chili's replacing that. Like chili plants replace that excitement of fire. You've got that kind of heat that is just, it could catch you. You know what I mean? And if we've seen the video of you where you're kind of, that's love. Within seconds, it hit you, kind of, you know what I mean? And it's just, I think for me, that's the excitement of them, is you don't know. You know what I mean? You could get caught, and it could be like the red hot thing, and. What captures you about chilies?
I wish I could properly put it into words. I've never quite understood it myself, but it's just part of it is that it's one of the first things that I ever grew. So I only started about 5 or 6 years ago. My dad gave me it was a Scotch bonnet plant, and I was like, what am I meant to do with this? I didn't really want it, to be honest.
Compost it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But I don't know. It sat on the windowsill. It started to grow, and it was like amazing. It was just really, really cool. And I kind of fell in love with that plant. I overwintered it for a little while as well. It did quite well. And I thought, hey, let's try some more. And there's just something about those plants that capture me. They're beautiful plants, even without the pods. The variety as well, like the thousands of different varieties of pepper. I think
you're right there as well, Jimmy. It's almost like bottomless. It's a bit like like maybe my obsession with coffee and that. You can just take that to different levels, and you'll never get to the end of it. Even like say camera equipment, you never get to the end. There's no right, I know everything. I think that's with chilies. You're always learning. And you give a list to get some, and some of them were from Chili Chum. Like these stripy ones, just
sugar rush stripy.
World. You know what I mean? So
really cool. I think a lot of people have. Sorry, I was just going to say a lot of people have the same thing with tomatoes. I think I think for a lot of people, tomatoes fulfill that same kind of, they're kind of awe-inspiring for a lot of people because of the amount of varieties and that kind of explosion of flavor that you get from tomatoes. It's just, I love it. I love chili peppers. I love them.
Audrey, if there
I
was,
was going to ask you, Tony, what you ever did with your Carolina Reapers.
didn't eat them. Tell you that now.
Okay.
I think there will be. Yeah, they're actually. I don't know if you've seen our living room. We've got the, like where the wood fire burning fire is. There's a pot down the side, and I strung them all up with cotton and a thing, dry them out. But I see they're there now. You know what I mean? So they're just sitting there in this kind of pot next to the fire. So yeah, they were great to grow, but I wouldn't.
Yeah, I was just curious because those will blow your head off.
Yeah, your dogs could get older then, Tony.
Oh, they're not daft. They haven't. They wouldn't.
You can smell them a mile away.
Steve, did you when JB put that list up? Did you get any? Are you coming down the chili route this year or not? Or
Yeah, I will do again. Because I don't really want to. He's rubbing his hands there. I've got some of the really super mild ones again. I'm not into the heat. That does nothing for me. Just puts me off. So I've gone super mild and sweet. I think they are, aren't they, JB?
Which ones did you get?
The ones you told me I should get.
I'm sure
I can't remember.
Was one like
right.
Kashmiri was one.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
anyway, this lot.
That would be fab. Any questions? Let me have. Oh, here's a good one, Stephen. It's probably. We'll start with you. Well, actually, I'll put it up. Let's have a look. It's from Mike's allotment. Let me just get Mike's allotment asking: has anyone else found Aqua, Dulce Claudia, broad beans are absolutely not winter hardy, despite what it says on the packet? Now, Mike's. The last time I was up, we've had this kind of second batch of frost. I think I've lost a couple now of, but I wonder where you kind of draw the line. You know what I mean? We've had like -5. There's not many plants, last that kind of temperatures. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I know there's like winter hardy and winter, but when you get to -5, Steve's -13. There's nothing really is going to survive, So, Steve, what's your view on it?
Well, it's one of those things. You can get half-hardy annuals, and if you want to sow those, you would sow them 3 to 4 weeks before your last frost date that's predicted for your area. With hardy annuals, the idea is that you sow them before the cold weather sets in, so that they're growing well and established, and very slowly over the winter they'll grow. But with those hardy annuals, if you look them up before you actually plant them, somebody will have written the information down somewhere and it will say hardy down to, and then it'll say -10, and that's what broad beans are. So hardy down to -10. If you've got anything less than that, anything deeper than that, like I had this year, it will kill them. And I lost 2 batches, one batch that was protected and one that wasn't. I lost both of them in that big freeze. Right.
Steve, just here's the thing. Would it something last like a really hard frost for one night, say -13, or a prolonged -6? Which is the more dangerous? Like say a week of -6, or like a sharp -13 for one night and it's back?
It's a good question, actually. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure.
Thank you very much. I'm here all week.
You're very welcome. When you choose to be, yeah. I don't know, to be honest. I mean, we had that prolonged cold spell, and I've still got Chinese cabbage growing in the polytunnel in the crack key, which has blown me away. But it's because it's in crack key system. But the roots froze solid. I know that because I tried to pick them out and there was a block of ice underneath them. So, good question, but the answer is I don't really know. But I do know that once you've had temperatures below what is predicted for that variety, that's it, they're finished. They're done.
Well, like you say, I've lost.
Like my sweet peas I sowed today, they'll go down to -4, I think it is. Anything lower than that, then there's every chance I'm going to lose those sweet peas.
God loves a
Can
trier.
I comment on this one just because I live in sub-zero weather here in the winter? Typically, if you dip down to it just for like a night, you have a better chance of certain things making it through. But if you go down for like days, that's when they just get wiped out. Because
Right.
that's typically what our problem is. We can dip down and come back up, but then we dip down and stay there. And that's when they die. So I think length of time really does impact.
A lot of it's about soil temperature, right? And soil
Right.
can kind of, it takes a little longer to kind of cool down. So those prolonged
Yeah.
temperatures will really kill off the roots.
Yep.
Well, we have come to the end again. There's a quick hour.
Wow.
Bang. Gone. Oh, look at Audrey. Wow, I could go in for hours here. Yes.
I'm just shocked it was so quick.
Oh, I know. It doesn't have, to be honest.
Just warming up.
Mine is getting cold now. I need to put on a t-shirt. Got no heating. I'm picking freezing now. We are on to our tips of the week. Stephen, have you got a tip of the week, sir?
Yeah, and it's kind of topical. If you're going to be sowing seeds over the next month or two, before you actually sow them, go online and have a look and see what category those plants that you're going to sow fall into, whether they're hardy, half hardy, biennials, perennials, whatever you think you want to sow. Go and look them up, and that's a good way to know if it's a good time of the year or not to actually sow them. If it says it's hardy down to -20, then you're going to be in good territory. You know they're going to be safe. But just look them up and get used to looking them up, because that will increase your knowledge moving forward through the years as well.
What a guy. Yeah, what a hero.
Very sensible.
Yes.
Very sensible.
Audrey, have you got a tip of the week, please?
If I don't, do I have to like take a time out?
You will get a red flag.
No. Okay.
The
So
forfeit.
I think this has been said, so let me just repeat it, perhaps. Be patient right now for sowing seeds. So it's kind of related to what Steve just said, but it's also like I want to get my peppers started. It's way too early for me to get my peppers started. So I need to be grown up and say, you know what? 1st of February, plenty of time, because these can't go out in my garden until June. So I do not want trees to be planted because I have to take care of them, right? So I'm just going to say, try a little patience so that you're not just growing things for your compost bin. Also fine to do.
I cannot like.
I know you
terrible,
can't.
Audrey. Oh God,
Yeah,
I'm
I
terrible.
I saw what you were sewing.
I did notice, JP. I'm sure I seen a photograph you put up a while ago, taking your plants down to the garden, and it was sometime in June, and the boot was like just, so the plants must have been, huge, and you were just even taking them down, no messing, keeping them safe, them babies safe. That was like in June when you were taking them down, and it's like that's almost like the season's over. Do you know what I mean? So
I think that it was an unseasonably cold May, or that I'd just been slow or something. There was some reason.
Tip of the week then, JB, sir.
Yeah, well, exact opposite of what Audrey's just said, really. But my tips are always just for me. But I am kind of getting towards that time of year where I've got some things sown, and soon enough there's going to be things that need potting on, like the onions that need doing like yesterday. And what you want to do, my tip is to remember to bring your compost in from outside and leave it somewhere warm, because what's going to happen is if you suddenly need to do something and you go, oh yeah, I've got an hour, I can actually do those. You can't do it if your compost is frozen outside. So bring it in ahead of time, warm it up a little bit, and then you can actually work with it.
That's what JB had exactly mind. Yeah, I kind of went there, and it's funny enough, it was only like the outer shell frozen when I went to get it. You know what I mean? So I kind of deep down, it was all right, and it wasn't frozen all right, but it was still, bloody cold. So it had to kind of wait a day to kind of warm up, and I thought, bloody hell, like exactly what
It's
you say.
frustrating.
It's bringing bags of compost into the house when I'm not allowed to. You know what I mean? I'm not
Yeah, they've got to be in something clean. You know, like a nice
Well,
clean trunk that
Yeah.
you've cleaned
There
and
you
dried.
go. That's what I do. I put it inside very nice plastic bins
Mhm.
and keep it
Yeah.
in my kitchen, actually. So,
So-
yeah.
Here's a question that's just come to us then. If it's cold, ice cold, but not frozen solid, and I put it in a bowl, like say big, could I put that in the microwave on defrost and just warm it up a little bit? Would that damage the soil in any way?
I would say it's unlikely to. Most of the compost that you buy, if it's compost you made yourself, then it might kill off any kind of microbial life. But anything that's from a bag, that's from a store, normally that stuff has been go through God knows what. It's going to be fairly dead. There's lots of nutrients and there can be goodness in there, but you don't need to worry about microbial life too much.
There you
Why
go then.
wouldn't you re-moisten it with hot water? Because you
I'm
probably
not-
have to
yeah.
moisten it, right? I would just put some hot water on it,
hmm
or warm water at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can do instant sowings, frozen.
There you go.
Well, that's lovely. Thank you. Listen, thank you very much. What I want to do is just mention. Let me just put you onto this screen there. The young fella, the young boy, he's got his Patreon page there, and have a look there. Look at Naturally JB. Please pop over and support. He has got a total of 6 folks, 6 kind, generous folks want to get a bit more of JB, which is actually fantastic. And guess what? The old boy, the old guy's got one. Look at that. Yes. And actually, I've just I do a sponsored JB there, and I've just, Steve, that's the only one you've got 350, so I can only do 350. But
Yeah, that's all I want to do. I don't.
Yes.
I don't really want to be. I don't want to milk it. I just, a couple of quid for what I provide is enough.
well, yes.
It's just my thoughts on it.
Well, I would like to see poor JB there has only got, wait a minute, like,
I'm happy with the 6 is good.
6.
That's not that bad.
So what
My
I
channel's a
love
lot
JB
smaller
though
than
is kind of
Steve's.
JB was kind of, it gives some news before it kind of broke that he got, he's got a chance of a second allotment, which was a great little thing there. So that was fantastic there. So yes, please, if you could do, pop over to these 2 sites, that would be fantastic. Audrey is at Real Foods. Now, Audrey, I don't think you've got a Patreon, but please go and subscribe to Audrey. That would be fantastic. We'll get Audrey,
Thank you.
the preserving queen. See, I wish we could get. We don't have that. I don't think as good a jar system as what yous have got over there, mind you, like preserving. I know we've got I forget the name of them there, but
Kilners and mason jars we have over here.
Yeah.
There's a few others as well.
And lastly, then, this is my little page on. If you want your seeds, your tomato seeds.
Oh, don't bother about him. He don't know nothing.
Yes, please. You know what I mean? Affiliated. That kind of. There's them kits. What we've been talking about. Just the link is in the description for these. These are just fun. And Ian said it. I think he's going to do it now, where they're going to be on a subscription basis as well. So each month you'll get one as well. So that would be fantastic. Everybody, a huge thank you for coming over again. We will be here next Monday. That would be fantastic. Please join us there. That would be fantastic. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. If you haven't seen this show, you can listen to it in the bath. The place to listen to it.
In the bath.
Someone was listening in the bath today.
With some of and if you go to Jade's website, you can get some of those lovely bath salts, and you can listen to the podcast.
There you go.
Sorted.
Look after yourselves, everyone. Take good care. Doodle pip.
Cheers, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.